Good morning. I'm Jim Austin, and my co host is over here to my left.
Good morning, Mark Lucas Kelly.
And we're coming to you from the Austin Lucas Hour. We're on the worldwide internet here at the Austin Plaza in Fort Worth, Texas.
Jim's on the worldwide internet. I'm on the World Wide Web, but we go back and forth.
We do a balance on each one of them. So, as you can see, Mark generally takes control of the program, but today it's about Jim.
Well, it depends on what mood Jim's
Well, it's about Jim today. So excited to have you here today on our talk show. You can listen to it on Saturday at 10 o'clock and on Sundays at 2 o'clock. We're going to be talking about a little bit of everything, and we have a special guest today. But Mark, it's good to see you.
in. As always, excellent to see you. For those of you listening all over the globe, only in Fort Worth, Texas, where we're coming from, can a show like this exist with a funeral director and a commercial real estate czar.
It's got to be the only show like that in the world. I'm Jim Austin with the Austin Company Commercial Real Estate. That's my day job.
That's true, and I'm Mark Lucas Kelly with Lucas Funeral Homes, Williams and Lucas Funeral Homes, quite a few different funeral homes and cremation services, but we won't be utilizing that today.
Yes, we have a phenomenal guest,
Indeed, we do.
and we met, her at the Fort Worth South monthly breakfast, which Mark and I's company are sponsors of Friday on the Green.
And now called the Near South Side organization. It has been Fort Worth South for about 25 years, I think, but now they've taken their brand and called it the Near South Side.
And we're going to get that Paul Payne one of these times to get him on our show.
Yes, we do.
But let's do this here. Let's have our guest introduce herself. She's an international person, and we're real excited to bring her to the Austin Lucas Hour. Tell us who you are, who you work for, and where you're from.
Good morning, everyone, and nice to be with you guys, Mark and Jim. It's already fun. We just got started. You guys have a nice banter going. My name is Slavi Younger, and I work for a company called Frush. And what we do is we do a sit-stand furniture for the office. So you've probably heard a lot of buzz about how unhealthy it is for you to sit all day. So we are involved in a process where offices change from being able to only sit to be able to change their position. So that's our primary agenda. Our website is frushup.com. And a little bit about me, as you can probably tell, I did not grow up in Texas. I probably don't sound.
Really?
Really? You were gonna guess what? East Texas,
Yeah,
maybe?
something like that. Yeah. San Angelo. I didn't know what.
Yes. No, I actually grew up in Europe. I grew up what was then Czechoslovakia, and have been in Texas though for now 20 years. So I'm at least an honorary Texan
Sure,
for sure, right?
sure. So you went to high school in Czechoslovakia?
I did.
You
Yes.
did?
Yes. And I came here to go to college
Yes, ma'am.
and just never left.
Well, we welcome you to Texas, and we're glad. Mark and I are glad you're on our show.
Absolutely.
We felt that by bringing you on our show, we would get that international flavor. And when we met, we had talked about making sure your parents got to hear Jim and Mark's show back
That's
at home.
right. That's right. Well, I'm going to visit them this coming Sunday, so I'm gonna make sure my Jim Austin app is downloaded, and I
Yes.
will play this for them. There's only one hiccup. They do not speak English.
Oh.
So
So you're going to have to keep hitting pause and interpreting.
That's right. Every word.
I wish I could see that.
Maybe I need to film it, and that will be the next episode, follow up to this one.
Absolutely.
Well, let's do this real quick. Why don't you do a shout out to your parents in your native language,
Yes.
and then you interpret it back to Mark and I and the audience.
Okay. Dobré ráno, ahoj mami a otci, uvidím vás za týždeň a nikto nerozumie, čo hovorím. Čau.
I love it.
And what
Do
did
you
we
want to
say?
translate? Okay, so I just said, good morning, hi, mom and dad. I will see you in a week. And guess what? No one understand what I'm saying right now.
That is
That was it.
that is so cool. That is so cool. One of the things that interested me about you was the fact you were telling us about the furniture. And a lot of people are going through back problems and joint problems, and even my wife Gloria right now is dealing with some back issues, and the furniture is very important because we go and we get her another chair because she's on the computer a lot. Tell us about what this furniture does for the average person if they go out and buy it, because I've seen it over at the center in Fort Worth.
Yeah, so what you're describing is a very, very common problem. We humans have, for millions of years, we're moving, right? We were walking, we were running, we oftentimes had to run fast or we wouldn't live, right? With technology, it has evolved that the only tool we use, for most part, is a computer. And with that, what came is all of us, or many of us, sit for extended period of time. And when you sit down, what your wife has experienced, which is a very common problem, which is the back issues, is because you're sitting in a position where you don't use your muscles at all. So what really actually happened is the underutilization of back muscles, and your posture is where the problems come in. So what really the big recommendation is, as far as to alleviate that pain, is have change in your day, right? So get up, walk around, stand is sort of what you really need to do to help with those pains. The problem is if you don't have a desk that can go up when you need to stand and you can continue to work, you can't just continuously break away from your job and just go, run around. So that's when that really comes very handy. So what we do is our desks, just you press a button, they go to the height that you need. They have large, difference between the lowest point and the highest point. So it does, it will adjust to the size you need, regardless of your height. And you find a spot where your arms are at 90-degree angle, so you can still comfortably type and keep working. And what happens when you stand is your posture improves, and actually your back muscles actually have to be engaged. Therefore, they actually strengthen, and a lot of the back pain actually does go away.
Wow, wow, that is awesome, and I can't wait to share this with Gloria, because she had talked about getting a desk where she could stand, because she works on the computer quite a bit. She's the executive director and co-founder of the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum with me, so I'll make sure that I put her in touch with you, and we might be getting some of that furniture at our home.
Oh, absolutely. I would be happy to help you guys out. It will definitely change your day and will make a difference to the back, for sure.
Okay. Well, when you're doing business and creating a relationship with Jim Austin and JimAustinOnline.com, some people call me the hookup doctor. Some people call me Jim. Mark, what do you call me?
Well, it just depends on what mood I'm in.
That's right. That's right. Mark and I met in Fort Worth South, and we immediately bonded. He told me he had a little radio experience, so I said, Mark, let's create a radio show. And we've been doing it, something, but we really want to go ahead and get this thing set up where it's on a regular basis, because we're right now, we're videotaping the show, but we really could go back in the studio in the back, hit a switch, and we could be live.
That's true.
Could you handle a live show, Mark?
That's where I cut my teeth. That's all I've ever known. I never did produce pieces. Rarely. Most of my stuff is all live. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants.
I want to have that conversation with you, Mark, that I asked you to take this to the next level. Maybe we can afford to buy another mic.
Yes, please.
And not taping our show on the computer. I'm willing to do that if you're willing to do that. But if we go live, we'll have to set a time that we're live at that point so people can get ready for it. And we can still tape it and run it late in the morning.
Podcast or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, those are back in vogue. They kind of went away for a while, but now they're back. So, you know, like the new hit, a lot of people are recording or podcasting a Serial, which is an NPR show that kind of the Hourglass team put together that's really popular now. Turning back to the furniture real quick, I know we hear all the time in the news about, you know, the ravages of the sedentary lifestyle, whether it's blood pressure, diabetes, or, of course, everybody's trying to figure out the reason for these diseases. Certainly not being as active is one of them, as you alluded to. So I'm interested, can you speak to, how do you think, the average mom and pop person probably isn't conscious of this or thinking about getting furniture like you're talking about. But with all of these workers that are out there nationwide, do you think that this consciousness is penetrating the corporate level so that, you know, for their health and wellness, that they'll buy into this and start purchasing equipment for employees?
Yeah, so absolutely. It's kind of so first address sort of what you touched on is all the science that we see now that links things like heart disease, diabetes, cancers to extended periods of sitting. You know, it sounds like a exaggeration, but study after study where they that they keep coming with the same conclusion. And the science behind that is that when you go into the most passive position that you can, which is sitting, the lipoprotein that only can be released while your muscles are flexing is at standstill. And that lipoprotein is what you need for your sugars and proteins to burn correctly, sugars and fats, I should say, to burn. So what happens is you sit down, your calorie burn goes down, your heart rate goes down, you know, your functions completely kind of shut down. So, and if you do this for 8+ hours every day, day after day, you know, what ends up happening is your waistline goes up because you're not burning any calories. You know, all the chemical reactions that normally happen um, when you do what we were designed to do, which is constantly be moving, constantly to be shifting, is not happening. And so it has dramatic effects on your sugar levels and on your cholesterol. So that's kind of the science behind that, right? As far as where we are, I can tell you, for example, we still have a long ways to go. In the U.S., about 1% of people have access to sit-stand desks. In Scandinavia, it's 90%. Pretty much that's everybody has a sit-stand desk. It's considered the proper ergonomic furniture for office worker. So, you know, they kind of accepted that standard 20 years ago. So now 90% of people have that. I can tell you that the more progressive areas of the country and more progressive companies and newer companies like Google, Microsoft, Apple, all of those guys have standing desks. But you see it kind of West Coast, East Coast.
Sure.
The center of the country's coming around. I can tell you we get a lot of calls. You know, we get a lot of people asking us, how do I implement? You know, they want to maybe start with a pilot program. You know, I want to see what it's truly is it gonna make a difference? Is it true that my employees will be more creative and more energized and more focused if we make that change. So it's coming. You know, everybody's changing. The computer's not going anywhere. We are all going to sit, and we're gonna sit more and more.
Sure.
We just have to figure out how to do it in a way that it doesn't hurt our health.
Well, that's very interesting. A friend of mine, he stands when he's behind his office. And I'm going to give you a referral, and it's a hookup.
Okay.
That you can call my friend, now Congressman Roger Williams. And Roger is a workaholic, such as I am. And he might get a few hours of sleep, but I knew when I met him that he worked standing up from his desk. So you call him, his office, he's a congressman out in Weatherford, and just say, hey, Congressman Williams, I got a referral from Jim Austin, understand my furniture, I would love for you to try it out. And he would be a great advocate, because you can imagine with, how many senators and congressmen do we have, Mark? I know
In the
senators-
state
Yeah,
or
in the
US?
country, in the country.
Oh, in the country, well, 535, 100 representatives and 435 representatives, 100 senators.
See, that's why he's the co-host, because he's a walking encyclopedia.
And
No,
in
numbers.
Texas, we have 151 representatives and 30 senators. So,
Whoa,
Just
see?
for the
So-
state.
But Jim, but if he made it up, you and I don't know. So
Right, no, but look, we can pull out our iPhone and Google it, and we'll know whether he's telling the truth.
No, yes, absolutely.
No, but he knows, I mean,
A comparison that I always make for that, for Texas has, whatever it has now, I don't know, 26 to 30 million people. So it has 30 senators, 151 representatives in the state government. Vermont, where I lived at one time, only has 600,000 residents, but the same number of representatives and senators. So that's real representative government. I want to tell the listeners real quick, Slavi, how do you pronounce your last name?
younger.
So if you're listening, we're talking with Slavi Younger right now on the Austin Lucas Hour, if you just tuned in. And what we're talking about, the benefits of ergonomic furniture that in Europe, and especially in Scandinavia, was adopted 20 years ago. Here in the U.S., we're sort of running behind in the center of the country to try in an effort to give awareness to people to have a more healthy lifestyle, and that starts in the workplace. It's not just at home. It's not just about riding your bike or about going out and jogging. It's about all of those hours. If you're not sleeping, all those hours you spend at your desk or at your phone or at your computer. So if you can have the option while you're sitting to stand, hit a button and have the desk rise, so then you can stand and then you can sit. So you can move somehow during the day. I shared with Slavi, Jim, that there are people that work in our office, I see that they rarely ever leave the desk. Maybe to use the restroom or the microwave or lunch, and I worry about them. I think something like what Slavi just brought to us could really have a dramatic change. Just that amount of movement, in people's sedentary day.
I think that Slavi needs to be an advertiser on Jim Austin Online.
Yes, yeah, probably. And as you were talking, I was thinking, what kind of recommendations can we give to people? Obviously, first would be go to your boss and see if you can, approach them and see about having a conversation about changing the space. But in the meantime, just little small changes like when you are on the phone, stand up. If you're having phone conversations, stand up. Instead of sending a message to your email to your coworkers, stand up and go talk to them in person. All those little things make a difference. It's the change from sitting to standing up that activates your muscles and gets your body moving, and will make a huge difference over the years.
Well, and it's really just about awareness. One analogy, I'd be willing to bet that 5 years ago, neither Jim or I had headphones for our cell phones. I bet we were just using our cell phones, holding up to our ear all the time. But now I know both of us. He has a set. I have a set. I will answer and talk some, but most of the time, if we're going to be extended, I'm using headphones, right? Because we know about the electromagnetic waves next to your ear that long. So it's about awareness. I think as this creeps through our culture, that we'll see a change.
And Mark, one of the reasons that we created this show was to make people aware about things that they had not thought about that might help improve their life. So I'm so excited that you came over and are doing this show, because I see me even changing my habits a little bit, things that you've been talking about. And we want to make sure that we stay connected and getting this information out. This is one aspect of the Austin Lucas Hour, but there's other things that we can do. Are you familiar with the Blue Zone?
I'm not. No.
The Blue Zone has come to Fort Worth, and it's an initiative that the city of Fort Worth has partnered with. And the initiative is getting people to change their habits, their eating habits, their exercise habits, and they're doing partnering with the city of Fort Worth. They had a big outing about 2 weeks ago at the Hillside Community Park, and it was awesome. And they're getting corporations to buy into it, where they're just changing their work habits. Just what Mark just said about standing up and maybe walking up the stairs and down the stairs. Just things that you can do that don't cost you any money, but it will make you live longer. So the Blue Zone is a national initiative, so that they're a partner with Jim Austin Online. So I encourage you after today, we can give you the contact, but I think what you're talking about would be very important to the Blue Zone and what they're talking about. It would be very easy for your company to get involved. But I'm very interested in you being a part of what Mark and I are talking about, educating people and making their lives better. Because
I think, that sounds like a fantastic initiative. I'll definitely look into get involved. But it's exactly what you, Mark, said. It's all about somebody pointing these things out to you. You don't realize that you do those things until you know what it really means. And world changes, and over time it changes, and we just stop thinking about it. There were times where people didn't wear seatbelts, right?
Oh, yeah.
And no one even thinks about putting on a seatbelt when you sit in a car. No one in Scandinavia thinks about, getting up and then sitting down, just even standing up just for 10, 15 minutes every hour. No one, they just do it, just part of their life. So, and if I can throw one more thing out there to encourage people, we all are trying to always lose weight, right? Everybody's always trying to get just little trimmer. So the difference between sitting for an hour and standing for an hour for an average person is 100 calories. And that might not seem like a lot, but if you just stand for 2 hours a day, that equates to 16-pound loss in a year. So we're talking about pretty dramatic difference. And maybe you won't lose you lose the weight, but guess what? Maybe you just this year don't gain more weight.
right.
Because that's how you get chubby. You gain 2-3 pounds every year, and then
that's exactly what's happened to me since I moved back here. My life, I walk way more in Seattle and in Vermont and in Utah, but I moved back here and I'm in the car an inordinate amount of time and sitting at a desk, and I've gained 20 pounds in the 3 years I've moved back.
Mm-hmm. Well, you and I, Mark, I'm also a partner with the B-Bike, and Mark lives on the bike trail, and we've been talking about going riding bikes on the Trinity. So we'd love to invite you when we do finally pull it together to go do bike riding on the Trinity.
oh yes, I live very close to that trail. I'm on it all the time. So I love
That's
biking.
why I told you, Mark, you need to get out to the trail. Man.
It's so beautiful, and it's so long. I understand at some point we'll be connected all the way through the entire Metroplex. So I think we're years away from that, but
yeah, it does. I jump on it at the in Fort Worth, and it goes all the way almost to Grand Prairie, riding along the Trinity River Legacy. So we'll have to do that. Cedric, what are we looking like? 2 minutes? You are listening to the Austin Lucas Hour, and we have an awesome guest on our show that's really going to help me live a little bit longer. I just want to do a shout out to my father, my dad, James Austin Sr., 91 years old. He just passed this month, and we will be taking him home on this coming Saturday. So, Dad, I love you very much, and I know you're listening to my show because you were a big supporter of me and helped me to develop to the person that I am. So I just want to tell you how much I love you, and I don't want to get crying on the show here, but we're going to celebrate him this weekend for sure. Slavi, is that it?
Yeah.
No, your name.
it's Slavi.
Slavi.
S-L-A-V-I. Yes.
Slavi, this has been an awesome opportunity to talk to you. Do another shout out to
Yeah,
the
your
people back
website.
home.
Yes. Oh, okay. So my name again is Slavi Younger, and I would love to encourage you to go check out our website to learn more about what we do. And the website is frashup.com. That is spelled FRASCHUP.com. And do you want me to say something in Slavic again?
Please, please. I mean, yes, do it.
Slavicus.
Okay, oci, mami, zase ja po slovensky.
What did you say this time?
Mom and dad, it's me again, speaking Slavic.
Slavic, okay.
For no reason at all.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and take a break for the cause, and we'll be right back to you.